If you find yourself saying, I can never win with this person, take a walk with me. When you hit this point, you're emotionally frustrated, and this is a good opportunity to use a pattern interrupt and say, you know what, time out, I need to take a break. You can go for a walk, meditate, or do some deep breathing exercises. And when somebody says they can't win, they're not actually in competition with you trying to win something. But it shows that the conversation has devolved and this person is throwing in the towel. And for the other person on the other side of this, you have to realize that your problem solving technique in this moment isn't working. You learned a long time ago that if you hammer down on a particular topic, eventually you can get this person to meet your expectations. But at the end of the day, this doesn't feel good for you because you really just wanted this person to show that they care, to show that they know what you're feeling, and to anticipate your needs because, let's face it, they should know by now, right? And this is a really great opportunity for you to step back and say, okay, where have I seen this pattern in my life before? You might think back and go, trying to get my needs met always looked like a fight. But when the other person shuts down and pulls away, you might take that as, well, they don't love me because they're not willing to fight for this. But your partner may have grown up resolving problems in a different way. Sometimes that can look like identifying the problem, talking it out, coming up with solutions, and ultimately compromise. For others, it can look like bringing up past events that are the same or similar to this one. And they do this not to bring up old arguments, but to make sure that this pattern stops at some point. But to the person on the receiving end of that, it can feel like your partner doesn't trust you, that they're never going to let this one thing go, that they can't or won't forgive you. And this is where the other person shuts down, pulls away, and feels defeated. And that's how we get to the place of, I just can't win. It's not about winning, it's about being seen, heard, loved, understood, and respected. If you find yourself in a place where the conversation has become repetitive, it might be time to call a timeout. Set a time together of when you're going to come back to this conversation and then stick to it. And while you're there, it might be time to take a different approach. Give your partner the time, the opportunity, and a safe space to communicate what they're thinking and feeling. That means don't criticize what they're saying. That's what you're thinking? That's what you think's going to happen? That's crazy. And instead of saying that, you can say something like, wow, I never thought about it that way. Thank you for telling me. You just shifted a revolving door argument into a bid for understanding. And no, it's not easy to get to this place, especially if you've never been there before. But ask yourself, what happens if you don't do this type of stuff? What happens if you don't make an attempt to understand? And remember, you don't have to agree with what your partner is saying. It might not be true for you, but it definitely allows you to peer into the window of how your partner thinks. And being able to do that is relationship gold.